we've lost Johnny and Dave because I'm fiddling with the camera every time. But this, I think, is a little channel out into a lake off to our right here. And I think this is the channel into Adams Lake. So, considering the fact I don't see Johnny or Dave, I'd say the ice is out. And it's crazy because from yesterday, this was completely iced in. We wouldn't have been able to paddle hardly any of what I've showed you so far, which I know isn't that very much, but we've gone about 600-700 meters. So it's pretty impressive in one day how much ice went out. Oh, it's too bad we couldn't have got to here yesterday. This looks like straight ahead off the bow and amongst those few pine trees. Looks like it would have been a great spot to set up a camp. What do you think, pup? That's nice. And there's our ice floe. So my question is, where are they even trying to go? This could be an interesting answer. Who knows? So where are you guys trying to go?
We're going to the ocean.
Uh-huh.
Can you hear the outlet?
Oh yes, yeah. Don't worry, pup. We're just here to catalog their adventure. Oh, this is cool. It's very slushy. Yeah, it's very slushy.
We'll be able to go in tomorrow. Like even just break up a little bit.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So it speeds up that whole sort of an ice flow thing.
We're just up at the top here of Adams Lake, and kind of straight over top of the trees right in front of me and Johnny and Dave is Little Hubley Lake. All right, I don't know if you can see. Okay, so we did make it to that Little Hubley Lake across that little spit of land. It was pretty sloggy in there for a bit, but Dave and I found this little clearing here, and I am under a tree right now because it's decided that it wanted to rain, and that is Johnny underneath a saul blanket. And we're just going to wait out this little bit of rain because all we've got is pretty much pepperoni, and we're going to make coffee and pepperoni, cheese, and crackers. So it's not an elaborate lunch, but it's going to be more than enough based on how much we've been eating. However, we didn't want to do it in the rain. So I think it's lightening up already. So I'm going to have pepperoni and crackers and cheese, and it's that Tickler, Castiello Tickler cheese. This is the sausage I'm having. How's that for a name? The old Chubber. I saw it at an Irving and I just had to buy it. There was no option. Oh, there's the cheese. Like I said yesterday. And my crackers, I've got a mix. These ones are actually pretty good from the Superstore. I got lots, boys, if you want any. Check out Johnny's shelter. And there is my lunch. She's had some. She hasn't got any yet. Johnny's been stingy with his food over there under his blanket. Tarp. And Dave's finished his fajita and snuck under the bushes. Well, we had successful little paddle and luncheon, and Dave and Johnny are just now playing some crib. The Hawkins cheesies. These are big ones too. And Johnny's cooking tonight. There's not much else to do. I've got a spoon that I want to call Rose, but I got to sand it first. I did bring some sandpaper. I'm not certain if I want to do that or not. I might be lazy and just sit here and drink beer. Well, I carried this in. I might as well drink it. All right, well, the sun's come back out, and I'm starting to warm up a little bit. Got a little chill on after getting back from the paddle, and I had to put on my sweater and coat and everything. Johnny's just over cutting up stuff for fajitas for tonight, and we got 2 desserts. We've got red velvet cake and some cinnamon buns, so that's going to be exciting. I am stuffed still. I don't think we've stopped eating on this trip yet because there wasn't a lot else to do so far. Like, we got a small lake. Weather hasn't been ideal for exploring, and yeah, it's kind of a bushy lake too. Like, it's hard to walk through the woods, so, but it's been okay. I just popped over to my hammock to grab the spoon spatula I'm working on, and I'm gonna take that over. I showed you this for whoever watched the last video I did. I gotta do some sanding and maybe put a pattern on. So, and that will be not ready to use because then I'll have to tongue oil it. Alright, we're going to go see how the people who aren't perfect live back in the fringes. This is where the fringes are. The tent people. There's Dave's over there. Marmot. Johnny's MSR. Elixir 2. So this is the same as my tent, except for 2-person as opposed to 3. The fir trees kind of choke out the sky. They hold in the ice and the cold. It's kind of regulated. So it's pretty good. And they found some nice, decent spots. Tilly's in there with Specca and Johnny. And back here is our main living quarters. And I'm over there.
Scotch, and then Denise would pour us a glass of scotch. Well, she'd pour a glass of scotch, right? So Joseph, my friend is like, Denise, I like when you're bartender. Yeah. And yeah, it's still obviously frozen.
I look forward to the salmonella. So what's this technique?
Oh, we're steaming.
Got the warming rack and the steaming.
Steaming the peppers.
Is there anything in the MSR pot?
Yes, water for rice.
Oh, okay.
Get some.
Nice.
Actually, shit. You had to be like that, didn't you, Chris?
Well, fortunately, Dave and I brought the cheese because Johnny forgot his. So.
Denise, I'm throwing you on the bus.
Oh yeah.
Mustard.
Salsa.
Yeah, I know there's a right way and a wrong way to roll these up.
Salsa. I'm gonna put the rice right in mine.
Oh,
Oh, there's a good idea
there
too.
you go.
Done.
But I'm not doing that.
Yep.
Just on my way down to wash my plate when I decided I might as well bring you down with me because it's turned super nice out. A walkie-talkie, fiber optic repeat. There were infinite channels between you and me. All right, for first dessert of tonight, we have red velvet cake, and a lot of it. And I'm not going to take
That's
all
the
of
perfect
that.
size for you, right?
No,
there.
I'm not. You and I almost split the other one. I'm going to take half of that. And what's on for second dessert? Hawkins cheesies and cinnamon buns.
Yeah.
No, you can't have it, Pop. There's enough food coloring in here to turn your insides red. This is our last night here, so tomorrow morning I'm going to be making the breakfast. I'll try to get up earlier than I did today because I'll get the fire going. I got to get it nice and hot. I'm going to make a kind of a breakfast skillet in the Dutch oven. So I need a good hot fire with quite a bit of coals to make it work properly. Looking forward to night number 2 in the Circadian Pro hammock is what that is, with a I'll put the links probably in the description, or at least the descriptions of the stuff I have. It's a 0 degree premium burrow top quilt, and it was really nice and warm last night. It was around 1 or 2 degrees Celsius last night, so that bag obviously get me down to -17. I just wore like this shirt underneath here, and a pair of long underwear, and that's all I wore to bed. And I was toasty warm. A couple of times I had to peel the bag off to vent my heat a little bit. The boys are doing quite a bit of clearing up there, and they've done a lot of work around the camp while I've been filming and taking photographs and setting up tarps to take photographs of. Dessert. Oh my God, I'm doing a terrible job here. Cinnamon bun. All right, well, everybody is now in bed. I just tucked Tilly away in with Johnny. Fire's right there. It felt like a long day. It's only about 9:30, and I think it felt long because we did a lot of eating. Looking forward to 10, 12 hours of sleep tonight. See you in the morning. Ooh. Good morning from the hammock. It is 8:34, and this is way later than I anticipated on getting up. Everything is just so soaked and damp right now. It's funny, like last night, even before it clouded in, I was walking up to take Tilly to Johnny's tent, and there's just like, it felt like we were in a little cloud, like a fog. You could see the water droplets in the air, and it hadn't rained, and then I looked up and there were stars out, so it was very strange how humid it is down here in this little forest bit. I've had to wipe the camera lens off, and it's been undercover all night. My top quilt, now some of that would be my condensation for my breath, but it was all damp. So, Tilly came over around 6 o'clock this morning, so she must have been driving Johnny crazy, I guess. And she snuggled in, and we both slept from 6 till now. And there wasn't a moment where I was like, oh, I guess I should get up. I was pretty much asleep the whole time. It was nice. It was really nice. Little furry hot water bottle. Anyway, I need to get up and start making some breakfast. Ah. The coffee pot's on. I went over and I packed up a few of my sleep things, the underquilt and top quilt and a couple other things, just to try to get ahead of it, because Johnny's tent's already down. I'm looking up in the forest there, and Dave's is already down, so I'm going to be playing catch up yet again. So this morning I've got my Dutch oven on the stove, and I'm going to be putting bacon. I'm going to fry that off in a separate pan, or mostly fry that off in a separate pan. The hash browns are going to be cooking here shortly in the cast iron. And then when all of those things are mostly ready, I'll put in the eggs, I guess, decided finally to scramble on us. We'll put in the egg mixture, and I still have a little bit of cheese left, so whatever cheese is left is going to go on top, and we'll cover it and let it kind of bake, probably with just the heat of the Dutch oven at the end, and may or may not put it on those little mini naan breads. So I think it's going to be pretty good. I would hazard a guess. What do you got? Tilly, bring it. Bring it. No, you know who throws it now. Speck is with you this time. You gonna go for it this time, Speck? I know.
Pot moved? Or?
Oh yeah. So Johnny has chopped our bacon up for us. We're gonna leave what's lengthwise there just to eat on its own, if we can even have enough room for it. This stuff is just going to be popped down into the hash browns very soon, and then the egg mixture will go in, and then cheese on top of that. Actually, I might cover it. I might do the old Dutch oven cover and just let it bake, because the egg will bake. What do you think?
Yeah.
You've done this filmmaking before, Johnny, I can tell.
Yeah.
Okay, it's time for the bacon to go in, if I can suffer the smoke long enough. Yes, this is a lot of bacon. It's a lot of bacon grease. So we'll heat that up. Once the pan's good and hot, we're going to throw the eggs in, and I think we're going to cover it after we put the cheese on. Hopefully that will just distribute itself as per gravity. Now we're going to use the last of this stuff. So a little bit about the weather. It was supposed to be raining by now and 3 degrees. It might be 3 degrees, but it is not raining, and it hasn't. So we actually got really lucky. Oh, yep, that's okay. Actually, you get more, Dave. That's literally just grease dripping off of there. Mine looks like a pie. Hope that focused. Don't know if it did. Oh, I got to take a photo this time, though. Is that? This will be the first time I've had it. We also have for dessert stroopy waffles. Well, breakfast is done, and I've just sucked back 3 little cups of coffee. Now that wooden cup I have probably full 3 times, maybe holds about 2 actual cups of coffee. So it feels like you're drinking more. We're just starting to pack up, and I figured I'd mention Denise, Johnny's wife, lent me this chair, and it has worked out really well. I don't know, I think climate only makes the one chair. This is it. Obviously, you have to put something back there because in this temperature it's a bit cool. Now, the ground that we've been on for this whole trip is all moss, and as you can see, it's pretty soft. And what happens with these chairs, Dave's has a little bit of grommets on the bottom of it to keep his upright, but Johnny's in this climate just sunk right through. So what I've done, just grabbed 2 pieces of the firewood, jammed them under, and then once the chair starts to sink, it just bottoms out on that firewood. And it's been perfect, so thanks to Denise for this. Okay, well, I'm just packing up the last stuff that I've got. Everything I've got in my pack is in this big blue 50-liter dry bag, and I'm stuffing all my clothes and whatever else I don't want to get fried in there. But I've got to get this set up in first because my hammock goes in first. What I wanted to talk about was this underquilt protector, and I've been wanting to get one of these for a few years now, and I just never got it. I was like, but the last couple of trips I've been out, I've been a little cold. Like I had wind blow under the underquilt, even though it wasn't that cold. Like it might have been a couple of degrees below zero. Mine should take me down to -7. And you get any wind under that underquilt, instantly your heat's gone. So you're not going to freeze to death, but you're just going to wake up feeling a little cool. So this, so far, seems to like completely eliminate that because it goes underneath and it goes all the way up almost to the head end and almost to the foot end, whereas your underquilt kind of sits somewhere in the middle. So it just blocks off all that draft. And the good thing about it for this particular campsite, because there's so much air, water droplets in the air, that kept my actual down underquilt dry. So now I did have a little bit of condensation at the foot end. I don't know if you could avoid that in this area. Even my whole top quilt, when I woke up this morning, had a layer of condensation on it. That could have been from my breath, I suppose. That's a small penalty to pay for size and weight for what I think that's done for me for this trip. So there's my new little hammock pillow. I think this is the small version. Really enjoyed that. I think for me, if I was going to order another one in the future, I probably will. I probably would get the larger version, but it was really comfortable, more comfortable than my old one. That foot end got a little saturated, and that could have been water running down the line. Probably should have moved my drip line down to here. I'm gonna have to do that for the next trip. Tie a drip line on right here. So that Dyneema ground tarp that weighs nothing. Also gonna live in my pack from now on. New piece of gear. I think this is called a flea from Dutchware Gear. Okay, well that's the end of the trip. Everything's packed up. The guys took all my stuff down on my boat for me, except for my main pack and my food pack. There's my food pack right there. It's still quite full. But actually because I put a lot of stuff that I brought in there just because it was easier. I'm not sure when the next trip's going to be. Johnny's got a real nice canoe trip planned for early May, I believe, down to Liscombe. I'm not sure where my next one is, but I think it's going to be mid-April. I'm off a few days there, so looking forward to getting out. Hopefully find a lake with no ice in it this time. But overall, I mean, we ended up at a lake that was completely iced in. We had no idea because all the lakes down our way were fine. And we just lucked out over here. Yeah, so overall, when we first got here, we weren't really thrilled with the campsite. But the longer we were here, the more we liked it. And this might be one of our better setups that we've had. So it's definitely a good option if we are coming down this way and we want to get into a camp spot real quick for like maybe a 10-minute paddle. So shush. Anyway, thanks for watching. I don't usually say click like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, or dislike if you didn't, but I guess I'll pass that on because it seems to help sometimes. Stay tuned for more content coming up. Come on, let's go.